Okay, EQ effects. Now you're thinking, we've already gone over the EQ. We spent so much time looking at the EQ. We don't need to look at the EQ again. Well, actually, we looked at using an EQ in the earlier sections of this class to really finely craft the sound, right? And also to make room in the mix for different frequencies. But now let's look at using the EQ as an effect. This is a whole different approach to using an EQ. So basically what we're going to do is use the EQ in kind of extreme ways to create some kind of sonic effect. The best example of this is like a telephone filter. So if you want it to sound like it's coming through a telephone, for example. So I'm going to go back to my EQ. Let's throw it on this vocal sample. So remember, let's go full big here. Okay, so remember that this is basically the full range of hearing, but in a telephone, and this is an old school telephone, not your digital phone that a lot of us are using now. And a telephone, it really only lets through about 100 hertz to about 1,000 hertz. Okay, in an old school analog telephone, those are the only really frequencies that go through it. So this makes the sound of a telephone. Okay, so this isn't something you'd use to like really fine tune your mix. This is something you do to make the mix sound kind of funny. Okay, so there we have it. That was a little muddy, so let's try. There's another kind of telephone filter that's 500 to about 2K. Let's try that. Yeah, that sounds a little more telephone-like in this case. Let's hear that in the mix. It. It's weird, but it's such a kind of extreme effect that it actually kind of makes this weird vocal fit in a little bit better. So I kind of like it. Another thing you might do is just things like dropping out all the low end and just doing, something like this. So we just hear like some really weird high end. This kind of a thing. So using an EQ as an effect can be useful sometimes. So I'm going to leave this telephone thing on here. It's weird, but I kind of like it. So I'm going to roll with it. Okay, one more thing.